This is Tank from the AutoHotkey forum. Today we're going to demonstrate the capabilities and differences between AutoHotkey and Automation Anywhere. Currently the most common RPA software on the market. I have loaded the Automation Anywhere Community Edition, and I can tell you from extensive experience in this field that the capabilities are identical with the enterprise version from an automation standpoint. So there's no difference there. I have created a sample script. I'm going to open it up first in the editor. So what I've decided to do as a sample task to compare and contrast AutoHotkey versus Automation Anywhere is we're going to open a stock website, in this case barchart.com. And we're just going to extract a table to Excel. Extracting data from either a website or a desktop application is a super common task in the RPA world. And so I feel like this is a good demonstration of both capability and need that provides a real world comparison. Now, that being said, I want to take you through a few of the operations here. Automation Anywhere does not support date math in any way. One of my great discomforts. Automation Anywhere, so we're going to collect a current system date in this prompt assignment variable, and then at the end of the script we'll show the start and end time so that we can compare the amount of time it took to run. Another limitation with Automation Anywhere is I can't perform Excel operations unless I have a workbook path. So we have to start by opening Excel and creating a workbook. We wait for the Microsoft Excel Book 1 to open. Send a Control S to the Excel window. Wait for the Save As window. We're going to do something called object cloning, which is specific to Automation Anywhere. Object cloning can be thought of as kind of like a COM object, if you will. We have properties to identify the button, and we're going to send a click method to it. There are other methods to send to it, but the click method is the one we want for this. The object cloning similarly supports coordinate-based interaction as well as image searching interaction. However, we're not going to do that. Stick straight to the object. The web recorder function of Automation Anywhere does provide a couple of handy features. One limitation of the web recorder is that it requires you to launch the website or URL from the command. So if you have a website that requires you to open a URL, maybe perform a login before extracting a table, this particular feature would probably not work for you. So keep that in mind. We were going simple here, no login involved, and we are extracting a table, so it will wait for the table to load completely, and then we are going to process the table using a loop. Now we could similarly set some different attributes here. We could sorry, my brain went blank. We could set tag name and attribute for exclusive elements to extract, but we're not doing that. We're just processing it through a loop because we're going to write this to Excel. We could directly dump the table into a CSV, but in the real world, we wouldn't need all of the columns that are on this table, and it doesn't make sense to extract the entire table for our purposes. We want just the ticker, the amount of change over the course of the year, last 12 months, and the current price. Those are the only fields we want out of this, and there are many more. So these are all of the factors that led us to process the table through a loop. The next thing we do is we open this workbook that we just created and saved. We loop each row from the Internet Explorer table, and we set values in Excel. The counter variable is kind of like a index for AutoHotkey, so serves the same purpose. It starts at 1 and counts each increment of the loop, so each iteration of the loop, so serves the exact same purpose. So let's run this and watch what it does, and think about how this looks compared to say an AutoHotkey script doing it, and then we're going to show an AutoHotkey script doing exactly the same bit of steps. So we start, and so we'll notice the first thing that happens is an Excel workbook opens up, a brand new one. We're going to hit send the Control S. We get the Save As dialog. The name is already populated, defaults to My Documents, which is fine. We're going to open this bar chart.com stocks. Now it is waiting for this table element to load. Specifically, the web recorder command is. So we don't have to worry about some sort of task to wait for it to load that's specific to that. It is currently already doing that. Okay, so the table has loaded. We are going to initialize an Excel command. And as you can see, there's some delay there. Automation Anywhere has some handy functions. It absolutely does, but sometimes it has some weird delays in its functionality that don't really make sense. Okay, so as you can see here, we started at 17:19:25, ended at 17:20:32, so that comes to 1 minute and 7 seconds. Okay, so now we're going to demonstrate the AutoHotkey script that does the same task. I've got a couple of libraries that I've written. iWeb Browser 2, pretty robust at getting an existing window, IE window, or creating a new one, and also querying and getting the document object I've got iExcel, not very robust, still in its infancy. More to come on that. I'll post both of these. But it does simplify the process. We'll start by instantiating the iRub browser 2, opening the bar chart URL. We're going to wait for the document to load. Going to get a copy of the document, or not a copy, a document object. And then we're going to wait while the table loads to make sure that we don't run into a COM error. We're going to use this function with a try catch statement to set true or false. An object evaluates to true. Then we're going to instantiate the Excel object, create a new workbook, and write out the ticker, amount changed over the last 12 months, and the current price. We'll go ahead and do that now and see how it performs compared to the Automation Anywhere. I use Visual Studio for my editing. I like the editor a little better. Some people like AutoHotkey Studio. I haven't really tried it much, so I won't downplay its value. Slide has kind of run its course, I think. Not really being worked on anymore, and lacking in some of the more advanced syntax highlighting. Anyway, so let's load Excel here. Yep, and we're going to write out these values. But the main thing I want you to notice here is we didn't have to create a new workbook and save it. This is just a new unsaved workbook. I'm going to flip over to the editor screen so we can see how long this took. So this ran in 69.35 seconds. So that's a minute 9 seconds. Our Automation Anywhere script ran minute 7 seconds. Comparable run times. And I would like to point out that the majority of the runtime is waiting for this site to load, which could happen faster or slower depending on server load and the website's overall performance. So 2 seconds is not really a lot of difference there, and probably can be accounted for in the difference in the time load, the web page loaded.